rain of late, and it's going to get heavier later this afternoon once again for that evening commute. So we're getting a little break right now. It's drizzly, it's nasty outside, but we're not getting those downpours of rain. But this is obviously has to be weather related.
I want to reset for viewers who might just be joining us now. It's 18 minutes after 10 o'clock. Today's TMJ4 and breaking news coverage of an accident that has closed U.S. Highway 41 in both the north and southbound directions. It appears to be a crossover accident where a semi crossed the median going northbound and into the southbound lanes, causing at least 3 semis and a couple of vehicles as well to be involved in this crash. Just looking at what our news folks are handing us right now. According to Germantown Police Department, which is the lead agency investigating this crash involves 2 semis and 6+ cars. Germantown also reporting multiple injuries. So far, 5 people have been taken to the hospital, and at least 1 person is dead. So we have 1 fatality, 5 people taken to the hospital. There could be more injuries. These are just the ones that they're able to sort out with us right now. Southbound lanes, they believe, will be closed for multiple hours. That's all they put here. And they hope to have the northbound lanes open sooner than that. So that again from Germantown Police Department, 6+ cars, 2 semis, 5 people taken to the hospital, and 1 person killed. And those are the early numbers right now. Obviously, what Germantown Police Department and all the emergency responders are most concerned about now at this hour is making sure that anybody who needed to be rescued or taken out of vehicles is done, that they are getting the treatment they need, and that they are handling the traffic situation as well and investigating this crash. But where possible, they're going to try and get some information out to us as well that we can pass along to you. Brian, it's interesting. You mentioned you know, how things, folks look at this and often say, boy, it's just a little bit of rain, I just don't understand. But you were making the point earlier about folks who might have been driving down and slipping on some of that grease or buildup, because we haven't, as you mentioned, it's been fairly dry. We haven't had a lot of rain lately.
And you add some water to that then, and your tires are going to start spinning. And you're thinking, it's not snowing outside, it's not icy out, but you get less traction with that buildup of grease and all the other materials on the road if you haven't had a lot of rain lately, which we have not. But also then you add in the fact that it was pouring, you get that hydroplaning effect going on. So the key is here, snow, rain, whatever, you just really got to slow down. You know, rush hour, folks trying to get into work as quick as they can, and you just got to slow it down. It's going to be like this way once again for tonight's evening commute, tomorrow morning's commute as well. We have about 1 to 2 inches of rain. This is maybe a 1/4 of an inch of rain so far. We have 1 to 2 inches of rain coming yet this evening and overnight tonight. So there's going to be considerable ponding on the roadways. So you're going to just keep that in the back of your mind. Also, if you're traveling northward, they're expecting the first major snowstorm of the season. And we always have problems with the first snow.
Sure.
We do. We live in Wisconsin, but it's been months since we've had to deal with it. There could be some snowflakes as far south as Fond du Lac tomorrow. So keep that in mind as well as you're doing some driving around. But if you're heading to Wausau or northward, up to 1 foot of snow is possible.
Oof. Brian, I saw you nodding your head when I was talking about the barriers that are often in the median, because I know you drive up to Grafton for home every day. Much of 43 in your direction here from Milwaukee up north to Grafton has those wire barriers at the very least in an effort to stop crossovers. Not sure how effective they are at stopping semis, but nonetheless, that is the case at least from Milwaukee northbound up through Highway 60, wouldn't you say?
Up to Grafton, and then once you get past Grafton, the median widens out up towards Port Washington and Saukville, so they don't have those. But there are some barriers on this stretch. You're talking about 41, 45. I just don't know if this exact location has them, but they have some wire barriers now, and those permanent barriers as well.
Let's bring Mark Waz in from Chopper 4. Mark is one of our photojournalists and longtime helicopter photographer. Mark, it looks like from this picture that there are not those wire barriers in this spot of 41. However, maybe from your perspective you can see them. I mean, they're not particularly large, so you might not be able to see them. Can you tell, or do they have those barriers in this stretch?
Vinny, you are correct. There are no barriers in this stretch. Pull out here, but I don't see them anywhere, even a mile or 2 south. So there are none at this location. I think as you go further south, you find them, but it's hard to tell right now. It's a little windy. Winds aloft here are tossing us around. I stand corrected. There are barriers here, but not anything that would stop a semi. It looks like, or appears to be a couple of cables that would perhaps help stop a car, but certainly not a semi going along at 65 miles an hour.
Those are fairly
they are
last summer.
fairly new, right, and fairly small, as we indicated. And Mark, I think your point is well taken, whether they're going to be able to stop a semi on a crossover accident like that. Obviously, that has proven to be ineffective. And we did have on on I-43, if I recall, a fatal accident there where a vehicle actually slid underneath.
Those are the Grafton High School.
Right.
They had just put the barriers up, and they went underneath those barriers, so that didn't even stop the car.
So, I mean, something is better than nothing, I guess, but there's a couple of accidents here within the last, obviously today, and then the other one, at least within the last couple of years, where those types of barriers have proven ineffective in preventing an accident. Let me get you an update again if you're just joining us. Highway 41 closed in both directions in Germantown, just south of Holy Hill Road. Germantown Police Department is investigating this fatal accident. One person was killed, 5 people taken to the hospital, 6 cars, maybe more, involved in an accident with 2 semis. Mark Waz up in Chopper 4 having reported that it appears, and his evidence seems to support, that it was a crossover accident with a northbound semi that crossed into the southbound lanes, wiped out at least 1 other semi, and then those 6+ other cars. At least 2 cars appear to have been crushed underneath the semis. And that's where you're getting your fatalities and people trapped who were taken out. Germantown police not indicating that anybody else is trapped, so you believe, at least at this point, that the emergency response on scene may have wrapped up. But there's the cleanup, there is the investigation, which is why Germantown PD believes that the southbound lanes will remain closed for hours. They are hopeful they'll get the northbound lanes open once again sooner than that. Our Melissa McCready is on scene with the chance to look this over from her vantage point. Melissa, anything else you can say about any rescue efforts at the scene? I just said that it appears that the immediate rescue efforts may be over unless you see something otherwise.
Yeah, that's what it looks like from my perspective. I am talking with a few people. Like I told you before, I'm in a subdivision that's just parallel to Highway 41, where I can see everything that's going on right now. There have been several vehicles that have pulled into the subdivision trying to get away from all of the traffic backup. Right now, it's just completely stopped bumper to bumper on Highway 167 from what I see right now. I talked with a few people who pulled in here, and I was asking them about their commute, if they heard anything, if they saw anything. A couple of people I talked to didn't hear the crash, but they heard the sirens, and then that's when they came running over. People just in awe as to what they've seen so far. You know, a car completely smashed underneath a semi, all of these other vehicles involved. You know, just a lot of backup right now and a lot of emergency vehicles still here on scene. So,
Invisalign gives you the confidence of a great smile. Available at Groupon and Associates.
Melissa McCready reporting live for us right now. It's 10:26 on today's TMJ4, covering this breaking news of an accident that has closed Highway 41 northbound and southbound right now near Germantown. We're able to talk with someone who works nearby. Sarah Jett joins us on the phone right now, and she works at a truck stop right up there in Richfield. Sarah, can you just tell us what you can see from your vantage point, or did you have trouble getting to work? What's the backup like? What can you tell us?
Yeah, there's lots of backup. People are trying to go around to go southbound on the highway. They're going to 175, but that's backed up as well now. And cars are just sitting both ways. Either way they try to get around. The traffic's just backed up real bad. I know people are getting frustrated out there, but, I mean, what can you do?
Are you, Brian and I were sitting here trying to figure out which way, are you that gas station right there on 167 to the truck stop, right? Not 167,